DU has been showing us what we can do, and it's that can-do spirit that I believe in.
Take it.
Don't forget, Ducks Unlimited.
Ducks Unlimited Television is presented by Drake Waterfowl Systems, innovators in waterfowl hunting.
Greetings from DUTV. I'm Ainsley Beeman, welcoming you to perhaps my most favorite television show ever. You see, I'm hunting Mississippi's famous Beaver Dam Lake with some very special ladies. But first, Zach Peterson meets up with Richard Clifton, Ducks Unlimited's Artist of the Year at Clifton's Farm in Milford, Delaware. All next on DUTV.
Towards the end of the summer, when I got my schedule for the hunts I'd be going on for DUTV this year, the one that jumped out to me the most was a late December hunt in Delaware with Richard Clifton. I'd known of Richard's name, I'd never met him, but knew of his artwork, the amazing amount of success he's had in the wildlife art world, and it was going to be really neat to get to spend a few days with him, hunt in his personal duck blind, and to have a chance to get to know one another. Our first afternoon in Delaware, punched in Richard's address. We knew we were getting pretty close to his house, but didn't know how close. Off to the left, there's a huge tornado of snow geese going in this field. And right about that time, the iPhone says, "You've reached your destination." And that was his house and his property with snow geese just completely covering the field. We pulled in the driveway and there's Richard standing in the driveway. That was a pretty cool way to start our trip.
We kind of joke here, we like to feel like we can have the waterfowl put on a little bit of a show for people, and the snow geese came through for us when you guys arrived. We kind of stood around for a while and watched the snow geese work, and it was very exciting.
Our first morning's hunt in Delaware, we hunted a little marsh that's on Richard's family's property. The past few years, he's made the commitment to continue improving the land and make a better waterfowl habitat, and planted it in different types of foods that the ducks like, millet and different types of grasses and some corn along the edges. Made for a great spot for our first morning's hunt.
We call it a plant and flood. It kind of creates a moist soil impoundment. There's corn planted there, there's some Japanese millet. There's also a lot of fall panicum in there, and it gives it a really nice ducky feel when you're out there. Well, one great thing about duck hunting is it often brings people together. First time for me hunting with Tony Sen, our regional director, and also having Zach Peterson here. Different personalities and meeting new people, sharing that time, that very special time in a duck blind. I figured the way they were acting, they're probably not coming around again.
Banded? Cool, that's awesome. It's our first morning in Delaware, and right off the bat, it's our second duck of the day. Richard shoots a banded hen. Pretty incredible. I guess you gotta be the artist of the year to shoot banded birds. Is that how that works?
It's one of the many talents
yeah.
that I possess.
Incredible paintings and banded birds.
And banded birds. Good start.
Heck yeah, that's awesome.
Growing up in the Midwest and doing a lot of my hunting in Kansas and Missouri, we didn't have many black ducks. So that was another thing I was excited about coming to Delaware. Hunting on the East Coast and the Atlantic Flyway, there's a lot of black ducks. corner of my eye, I caught a duck, working us on the right side. Pretty quick, I realized it was a black duck. Came right over the top of us, and it was just a bird that acted like it wasn't going to work us. It acted like it wasn't going to finish. It was just kind of looking at the spread, and it came right on top, gave me a good shot opportunity. So I went ahead and took it. I knew it probably wouldn't be on camera, but still, we came a long ways out here to Delaware to spend some time with Richard, and I definitely wasn't going to pass up an opportunity to shoot a black duck.
Coming right in, go ahead. I thought they were going to do it. Right?
I thought the way they came.
Yeah, they're cutting back. Coming hard. Oh, yeah,
Hard.
right. That might be a pair of blacks. Out more out front. Two guys. Whoever, get ready. All yours. Take them when you want them.
First time I've had the opportunity to come out here, I've heard a lot about Richard's property, and it was a great day in the blind with all of us, and got to trade stories and get to know each other a little bit better, and hopefully it'll grow from here.
Right here, that's a good boy. Here you go. Right here. Yeah, that's a
Richard, see these two? Off the right. They're right, dropping right in the hole.
Good shot. Our first day in Delaware is coming to a close, and definitely one of those days that shot a couple special birds. Richard shot a banded mallard, and I shot just the second black duck I've ever shot. Definitely all in all an awesome day. It's a neat place, Richard's family farm. Cool to sit in the blind with him and hear about the history of the Clifton family and see little spots where he's got inspiration for some of his artwork. I've heard rumor of maybe a snow goose hunt for tomorrow. There's a ton of snows in the area. Get a little dinner and we'll be back at it tomorrow.
Golden's the same brand that I use.
This
Too close?
No. We're friends now, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I thought. At this point, you're just trying to get something down. It doesn't have to be perfect, because when you go back and really start to get serious about really detailing things, that's when you're gonna refine it and make it start to come together. A long time ago, as a kid, family were farmers, and I remember sitting in the house looking out the window watching my dad work the fields on tractors. Started drawing tractors with crayons and color pencils, and once I started going waterfowl hunting, then my interest quickly shifted to painting ducks and geese. So a lot of times when I clean my brush out, I always take an opportunity to look out the window out there, because you might be able to see some ducks flying around or some geese flying by or something else working, which can sometimes be a big distraction. Because then if I do actually see something, then I'd probably end up getting up and walking over there and staring out the window for a while. But I eventually get back to work. Kind of convenient too to be able to just, walk right out of your house and take a walk back to your wetland project and get reference material as you need it.
It was a really cool opportunity to stand over there, look over Richard's shoulder as he's painting. He's working on that upcoming piece of those two redheads. And when we got here, there wasn't much color on there. It had been started to fill in the color, and you could really feel that painting starting to come to life. It was a really neat experience for me.
For many hunters, buying a duck stamp is just part of the ritual and tradition of waterfowl hunting, and just one part of a grand tradition of hunters giving back to the resource. Since the first federal duck stamp was issued more than 80 years ago, proceeds have generated almost $1 billion, which has been used to purchase or lease over 6 million acres of wetlands habitat in the United States. 98 cents out of every dollar makes it to the ground. Recently, Congress raised the price of a duck stamp from $15 to $25, an increase enthusiastically supported by Ducks Unlimited and other conservation groups. This increase will mean the conservation of more valuable habitat, especially in the prairie pothole region of North America's duck factory. Here at DU headquarters in Memphis, we're fortunate to have duck stamps and prints from every year since Ding Darling's original pencil sketch in 1934. If you're in the area, drop by to see this display. We'll be happy to talk to you about this important component of our conservation history. In the meantime, buy a duck stamp and support wetlands conservation.
Delaware is part of the Atlantic Flyway, so we get a lot of wintering waterfowl, we get a lot of waterfowl migrating through, and on the flip side, we get a lot of waterfowl on their migration back north.
The game plan for this morning was to do a snow goose hunt. Nice windsock spread of 800 decoys. So we got them set up. We're going to stick with it a little bit, let the birds settle down, and maybe start filtering back some this afternoon. You better take them.
Take them.
I got a blue goose.
Wow. Here we go.
I got two. I got another blue goose too, I think. I think I got two blue geese out of all that.
Our time here in Delaware has been great. It was a really neat opportunity to meet Richard and then see him in his element in the studio as well as out in the duck blind. His two big passions in life, definitely a special opportunity to hang out with him for a couple days, experience the Atlantic Flyway. This trip 100% lived up to its expectations.
It's been wonderful to meet new people. Zach and Tony have been great. Looking forward to maybe doing this again one day.
That's the beauty of a snow there,
That's
man.
a big,
That's a
nice
big
white
Look at
dog.
that. Head's the size of Canada.
I know.
Duck and cherry sauce is a classic combination. We're gonna start with our duck breast. I'm gonna season them well with salt and pepper. I have my cast iron skillet, so I'm gonna add a little bit of olive oil and a little bit of butter because we're gonna make our sauce in the same pan that we're cooking our duck in, so we wanna have that extra butter flavor. And I'm gonna add our duck. And we're gonna let this cook till it's nice and seared on both sides. Okay, so my duck breasts have been cooking about 2 to 3 minutes per side. So I'm gonna take these off of the skillet and put them on a cutting board. So I'm gonna put my shallots into my pan. I'm gonna add 1 cup of chicken stock and a little bit of port wine. This adds some great flavor. So these are frozen cherries, again, that have just been thawed out and cut in half. A lot of flavor comes from that. I'm going to turn my heat back up to high and I'm going to bring this to a boil. So I'm going to add my cold butter, which I've cut into small cubes, and I'm just going to stir it into the sauce. Now that it's melted, I'm just going to turn off my heat and let it sit here and stay warm while I get my duck ready to serve. I'm going to just slice my duck breast thinly, and again, it's a nice medium rare duck, and I'm going to take some of this wonderful sauce. Make sure I get the cherries, and I'm just gonna spoon this right over the top. For this recipe and more just like it, go to ducks.org.
Author Jennifer Chandler's latest book is the Southern Pantry Cookbook. For more information and recipes, visit cookwithjennifer.com.
How do you ever learn the cadence of a hen mallard? It's the simplest thing. A guy that's been gone for a long time, a fellow named Ronnie Wright, lived over in North Little Rock, Arkansas, and he loved to teach little kids. He said they all know the nursery rhyme, 3 blind mice. It's just simple to say, 3 blind mice, quack, 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 and you got a hen mallard. And when I'm teaching youngsters to do it, I'll say, I'm going to say the 3 blind mice, then we'll say quack, quack, quack together. And it goes like this, 3 blind mice. You'll hear ducks make a 3-note lick just like that. 3 blind mice. Stretch it out and make it more like a duck, completely down through her cadence. You can add 1 or 2 notes to the end, and you've got a real hen mallard. Say 3 blind mice, quack, quack. 3 blind mice, quack, quack. And if you can practice that a little bit, it won't be long until you can stretch it out and learn to do anything in a quacking sequence.
Duck Tactics has been presented by Buck Gardner Calls, champion of champions.
Special thanks to Richard Clifton, one of the world's most renowned painters and waterfowl conservationists, for sharing a peek inside his passions. And now we're off to Mississippi for a slice of Nash Buckingham's favorite place. So this week I was joined with 3 exceptional women from all across the country, and to be able to share Beaver Dam with 3 other women who are equally as passionate about hunting and conservation, it was just such a pleasure. We tag team that last one.
Several years ago, we did another DUTV show. It was presented to us again to have the opportunity to do DUTV. But this year, they wanted to bring some ladies of the outdoors, and we were excited to be a part of that, and they've really done well. We've had some good shooting, and I've enjoyed being with them.
I was actually in the blind hunting right beside Christine when she killed her very first duck, and that's always a really neat experience. It was certainly something special. She was excited about it, and we were thrilled to be a part of that memory for her.
Two down. I've been on one other real duck hunt, but no ducks came. So this was my first opportunity actually to experience the full force of a real duck hunt. I would say I had the #1 experience today.
That would be something I would do, take down the mojo.
When I got the call to be a part of DUTV, my first thought was, are you sure you want me? I have never hunted in a cypress swamp before, so that experience in itself has been incredible.
We went out to the blind. We were able to slowly go through these cypress trees as the sun was rising. It was a beautiful sight.
I had so much fun with Mike and Lamar Boyd, Jan Young, Carrie Lingo, and Christine Thomas. and the hunting was so spectacular that we'll be back to finish our Beaver Dam experience on the next installment of DUTV. Meantime, check out the video and find out more information at ducks.org. And thank you for supporting America's most important conservationists, the members and volunteers of Ducks Unlimited.